My name's Marty. So I took you up on your claim, bold claim, I would say, that The Haunting is the best horror movie of all time. I watched it. I'd never seen it before. I respect your opinion. I've watched a number of your reviews, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this movie out. So last night after I got home, watched it, and I gotta say, oh, nope. It's not the best horror movie of all time. It's a good horror movie. It's a good, solid horror movie. Best, no, nope. I'll give you three movies at the end of my review or end of my response that I think are better. But okay, so what I think the movie does well is I think the performances are good. I think the cinematography is good. I think the story is pretty good. And it is scary. I don't think it's scary enough. I'm going to come back to that and just do a little comparison with one of the movies that I do think is scarier, or a better horror movie. Yeah, so the three areas that I would say, three problems I had with this movie is one, I think the music in the movie is really dated. The score, it just doesn't hold up well. It's that kind of old melodramatic score from like the 50s and 60s that really doesn't do it for me. I think the modern scores are much better, much scarier. Yeah, it really kind of took me out of the movie at times, in my opinion. Two, I would say the internal monologue or internal dialogue being voiced over, that really dated the movie as well. One of my all-time favorite movies, Dune, the David Lynch Dune. That movie uses internal dialogue that's used as voiceover kind of thing, and it's laughable. It's laughable, and what it reminds me of is like the Airplane movies and the Hot Shots movies, where the characters will break into these internal dialogues that are absolutely ridiculous, and and so now whenever I see a movie with that kind of internal voiceover, yeah, it strikes me as absurd. It takes me right out of the movie, and it just doesn't hold up. The third thing that I thought was kind of problematic was within the story. Scary things happen the first. I'm not giving too much away. Scary, it's a horror movie. Scary things are going to happen. The first night they're there, scary things happen. It kind of catches them by surprise. But the response in the morning is like, you would think it would be like, I'm out of here. I'm never coming back. If you don't open the gates, I'm busting out. And yet you kind of get them laughing and minimizing everything that had happened the night before. And it's just like, to me, no, I wouldn't be having that. It didn't really add up. And so, yeah, that to me did strike me as... It made the characters a little bit less likable because, at that point they had clearly a choice as to whether to stay or go. And I understand that they were probably all each in a tight spot, and it wasn't like easy for them to leave. But I'm sorry, given what they went through in the first night, yeah, I would say leaving was definitely an option. So yeah, those are the main things. I mean, but the crux of the whole thing to me was it just wasn't scary enough. The horror movie, it's meant to scare or creep you out. Like The Shining, I think does a really good job of just like really creeping you out, and it's nightmarish in that sense. That I don't know, like as far as like scares, it's got scares, but the main thing I think is when you go to sleep that night, you know, there's a high probability you're gonna have some nightmares. At least that's my take on The Shining. But I wanted to kind of compare it to another movie that I think is a much better horror movie, and that would be The Thing, the John Carpenter 1982, I think, version. That to me is horror movie at its best. There is a scene, and I'm not going to give too much away, but there's a scene where one of the characters is conducting like an autopsy on to try to figure out what happened to another character, and something happens that literally when I saw it the first time, I was on the edge of my seat, like yelling, "Holy shnikes!" I'll say, wasn't that? What the F is going on? And totally freaking out. There wasn't any scene like that here. I mean, there was some scary stuff, but in comparison, there is no comparison in my mind. The Thing has some really, really scary things happen. There's another interrogation scene where they're putting people to the test. That is just amazingly, you could like cut the tension with a knife. It's so well done. So there's, I would say The Shining's better. I would say The Thing is better. No, my favorite horror movie of all time, some people don't consider it a horror movie, is Jaws, actually. That, to me, that movie really, really scared me. Obviously, it's you know, the thing is, it's about the ocean and going into the ocean, and so it doesn't have that like haunted house element or something like that. But I can tell you, my relationship with the ocean after I saw that movie totally changed. I used to love going in the ocean as a kid. I thought it was a blast. After seeing that, you know, I'm always kind of keeping my hyper-vigilant look out for a shark. So to me, even to today, you know, going in the ocean, you just get a little like antsier after having seen that movie. So I just wanted to kind of create a video response to what Mike put out there as the best horror movie. I really respect Mike's opinion. I'm looking forward to his review of Prometheus. I'll probably watch his review prior to watching any mainstream review or reading any mainstream review, because I have way more respect for his opinion than I do of, say, like just your average reviewer, because you know he's a fan, like a big fan. He cares about movies. And so, yeah, this isn't meant to be give him a hard time. It's more just, actually, it's a lot of respect, but I just a friendly disagreement. So anyway, Mike, I hope you keep making movie reviews, and I'd love to see a review of Jaws if you ever want to do that one. And take care.